Bro, what is this production?
Oh!
Oh my god.
That nigga got his butt.
The thing that I really appreciate about Tank is he's a dog. That kind of that what he just said. You can put them earmuffs up and go at it. He kind of will assess you as well in whatever he needs.
Jake Paul has reacted to the newly surfaced sparring and training footage of Gervonta "Tank" Davis that went viral across social media. And his response has everyone talking. The clip shows Davis looking sharper, faster, and more explosive than ever as he gears up for his next fight, leaving fans wondering if Tank is entering the most dangerous phase of his career yet. Davis has built his name dominating the lighter divisions, mostly fighting between 133 and 135 pounds and never officially weighing above 140 in pro bouts. Jake Paul, on the other hand, is a natural cruiserweight who competes around 200 pounds. That's not just a small gap, it's several divisions apart. At that range, size, durability, and punching power become game changers. The heavier fighter often carries more resistance and force, shifting the focus from pure skill to survival, who can take the hit and still deliver back.
Fortunate is the idea that Jake Paul might actually fight Gervonta "Tank" Davis. This can't be real. When it came up a couple of months ago, I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna cover this because there's no way it's real. There's no way they're really gonna do that because it makes no sense. Why would you do that for him? Outside of it, like, okay, you can look at it like an exhibition, which it will be, and we'll take a look at some of the rule set for it. But Gervonta Davis is one of, if not the best, biggest names at 135 pounds and is an active in his prime fighter. I don't want to hear the similar to Floyd and Logan thing because at that point, Floyd was retired. Floyd had done all he needed to do in the sport. Tank is still in his prime, still has multiple high-level opponents that he needs to fight. And you could say, oh, you know, the Jake would be a one-off. Side quest. That's fine, but that just tells me that Tank doesn't care about being a high-level champion.
Armamel Motton recently reflected on a sparring session with Davis when he was just 15 or 16 years old. He admitted he was nervous at first, but said the match quickly became a chess game. It wasn't just power, it was timing, rhythm, and precision. Davis never tried to knock him out. Instead, both traded angles and technique in a tactical exchange. Motton recalled Davis's strength as noticeable, but said their back-and-forth skill battle was what truly stood out. The experience, he said, was fun, humbling, and one of the biggest learning moments of his early career.
So you fought Tank early on.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? Like, replay that experience for me. Like, you coming out of it, what was your thought?
Yeah, I was nervous at first. I think I was 15 at the time we sparred, so he wasn't really like trying to knock me out or nothing like that. But we was going like, he was using the speed on me. Like, we was both like going speed for speed, and it was great. It was like a chess match.
Did you understand in that moment like why he is who he is?
Yeah, I seen why he's able to beat these guys. Then I also seen why I'm so like I got on.
Sean Porter has defended Davis's decision to face Jake Paul in an exhibition, saying critics are missing the bigger picture. To Porter, this fight isn't about proving greatness. It's about ensuring financial security for Davis and his family. Since it's an exhibition, there are agreed-upon safety measures and limited risks. Porter argued that boxing careers are short, and opportunities like this combine exposure, reward, and entertainment. Rather than selling out, Tank is protecting his future while giving fans a show. Porter's comments underline the constant tug-of-war between legacy and livelihood in boxing.
They're trying to make it safer and, you know, all those sorts of things, but there's still this pureness to boxing that really doesn't exist in sports anymore, but it's still there with boxing. I think that's why people have such a problem with this kind of move from Tank Davis.
Is it more the heart? How do you guys feel being boxers?
Man, like once you hear the numbers, I'm like, they're talking, like, I don't know the official one. They're talking about like 100 mil.
Oh, damn.
Like, they're talking about these insane numbers. Like I'm gonna be like, don't take that. I'm not gonna tell another man not to take that type of check, especially for something like that. It's not on your official record. It's an exhibition. I'm not gonna lie here and act like I'm not gonna say yes to 100 million or something like that. But I do see exactly what you're saying about the essence of boxing. I wish they would kind of separate a little more, because exhibitions have always been a thing. There's always been an argument.
Right.
But they're just selling it like a real fight almost.
Right.
So I think that maybe if we could create a better like distinction, the more of a difference,
Right.
there might be less hate on it. But at the end of the day, man, I'm not gonna tell Tank not to take that fight.
And I said this last year. I said create a influencer title. And let those guys fight over there in the influencer world. They can live the world and the life of I'm a world champion without having to do something like this. Now, the issue for this that I have is you have a legitimate 135-pound champion fighter getting in the ring with a 190-pound guy, whatever it is that Jake Paul is at. So now we already
Still, many fans and analysts insist that despite the hype, the massive weight gap makes this more of a spectacle than a fair competition. Promoters have acknowledged this by adding special conditions, a 195-pound catch weight, larger gloves, and the exhibition label itself, to reduce danger. Even so, supporters believe Davis's superior skill and precision will allow him to outmaneuver Paul, land clean shots, and make the bigger man look sluggish, despite the size difference.
Is what's the rules, and like, are they gonna actually try and knock each other out? Because it's gonna be a glorified sparring match. I'm not watching, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Jake's gonna have a hard time hitting him.
Yeah,
You know,
big time. Gervonta's so fast
and
and skilled.
Gervonta's gonna eat his.
I thought
guts.
Jake was gonna fight Anthony Joshua. That seemed
No, that
more,
was actually getting.
That is
sounded
the
more
craziest
interesting.
idea I've ever heard. Jake Paul trying to fight Anthony Joshua is, wow.
Chael Sonnen recently blasted Jake Paul for choosing to fight Gervonta Davis instead of Anthony Joshua, calling it a downgrade from what was promised. Sonnen argued that unlike Paul, Tank doesn't rely on trash talk or media hype. He lets his fists do the talking. While he respects Davis's skill, Sonnen believes that the matchup's success relies heavily on Paul's promotional power rather than pure boxing appeal. Without Paul's showmanship, Sonnen claims, the fight wouldn't draw nearly as much attention.
Exact opposite of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul for 2. So the fight that was being dangled and rumored in front of us, the exact opposite has happened. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is not fighting nobody. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is fighting Tank Davis. Okay. So there's one big glaring issue for me. It's just your partner being Tank Davis. Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. It could be a title fight, a contenders fight, a main event fight. He could be the favorite. He could be the underdog. Tank doesn't know how to bring that information to you guys in a way that is compelling. And Tank is already blinking in this situation. You have one guy who is argued amongst the pound for pound current greats in boxing. You have another guy that has suggested he should not even be allowed to box, that he should have to call it something different. He should not be licensed. He should not be ranked in the top 14. He should never be selected for a world title. Okay. Now, Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport.
Meanwhile, Davis's opinion of Jake Paul has shifted over time. Initially, Tank dismissed Paul as nothing more than a loud-mouthed entertainer chasing attention. But as Paul improved his craft and began earning respect in boxing circles, Davis's tone softened. He has since acknowledged Jake's discipline, resilience, and growing skill set, even if he doesn't see him as elite-level competition. Still, Davis now recognizes Paul's massive drawing power and influence, and that may be what finally brought him to the table for this fight.